Hello, and welcome to this video in which I am talking about a couple of new things that I've consumed recently. Two being games, one being an app. Uh, let's start with the app. It's Funimation, and I remember, as you saw in the title, that this is all Xbox-wise. I'm not sure how it works on PlayStation or any of those versions, or Xbox 360, next gen Xbox. I'm on an Xbox One. Okay, it's like an OG Xbox One. And they updated their app recently. It's interesting, it's nice. There's a few good things and a few bad things, of course. The new design looks interesting. It's really nice. It's really unique. Something updated, cool. It adds the aspects of seeing upcoming releases, meaning, like they show the schedule of stuff coming up. So you know what's gonna be coming on the app tomorrow or the day after that. Up for like a week or so, and it's cool and all. And they've updated to also where it's you can move back and forth. Fast forwarding and rewinding a show or movie. Same way you do usually on most apps on Xbox. With the D-pad, you can, and it's nice. It's nice. Overall, it's good. There was like a issue where I could only see 10 shows per genre, whatever. I'm not sure what it was. Again, it's just like anytime I complain about something, it's like it fixed for me, but it's like, was this not an issue for anyone else? It's like, do they have you on your own server or something, dude? It's weird. But I digress. But it's all good. They've updated it. It's nice. There are some issues that I have. One, when you hit the way you move on to a next episode is you hit the right bumper, and you can actually go back to the beginning of the episode, just straight to minute second zero, and by hitting the left on the D-pad. And if you did it again, you'd probably go. It says you had to go to the previous episode. I'm not sure if I've ever worked like that because I never used it that way. I've never gone previous episode wise. But it doesn't work that way here. It doesn't work at all, actually. And the way it used to work also, if you go from one episode to the next, it'll start at the beginning of the next episode. But here, it starts off where it was left off last time you watched it. So if you watched an episode previously already, like if you binged the whole season and you're going back from episode 1 again, it'll start off where you left off, basically, unless it's at the end, maybe. I don't know, because it's like, I've watched up to, like, when the credits start at the end, and hit right bumper and go on to the next episode. But now, of course, when you go to the next episode, it's like, it's right there when the credits are about to roll and stuff, so it's just... It felt like one step forward, two steps back. Because, again, like, they fixed that issue, with this update, basically, by changing everything, to whereas now I see basically every show in the genre. But, it's like, they've updated where, like, there's got some new stuff, nice things, more traditional way of moving around a show via an usual streaming app, on Xbox. But it's just like they fucked up other areas somehow with this. It's like I said, it's like when you go to the next episode, it won't start you at the beginning, and it's just like you can't hit left bumper anymore to go back to the beginning of the episode and stuff. So it's just like it feels like they broke more than they fixed. It's like it's not even fixed. It's just like made new and added stuff. Outside that issue I had, which I'm not sure if anybody else had, but there was nothing really else fixed. It was just updated and changed, and some things, like I said, for the worse. It was odd, it was, like I said, it was like a step forward and two steps back. It's just like you improved some things, but you fucked up a lot. It's just like you fucked up the main aspects of a streaming service. Like when I move on to the next episode, if I've already seen it, I don't want to start at the fucking same position. I want to start from the beginning. At the very first second of the episode. I don't know, man. It really annoyed me, Granted, it's a bit more advanced than Crunchyroll and all their issues, dude, because they still have issues I get into, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm talking about the new stuff, the good and the bad. And speaking of the bad, let's move on to the next part, which is probably the worst of the stuff. and that is the new season of Apex Legends. Again, one step forward, but here it was more like 1,000 steps back, dude. I mean, damn, that first bit of time with the update, and everybody's like saying, just calm down, you don't know how fucking games work and shit. It's like, I don't, but shit like this usually doesn't happen on a lot of games, like Fortnite. It's like they have big events with even more people than that were probably there to play Apex at the time of the update, and their shit probably doesn't get that fucked up. It might get fucked up, but not that fucked up, because it was like at least with a day's worth of having to fix shit. This update fucking broke so much. Not just, the update itself, but the time, dude, calculator wise, everything, it's just like, it fucked up so much, it's like, nobody could play for a good couple hours, and when you could, there's only the release characters you could use. You couldn't even buy the new character or play her or any other character that's, that were added in after release. You, basically, you couldn't play, the game itself for like a couple hours, dude. It was bad, dude. It was bad. And my thought was, there was probably two things that they could have thought of that would have helped alleviate this, or at least lessen it than it was. First off, the time. I don't think that was a good idea at all. Now, for anybody understanding what time it was, for me, it was 10 in the morning, but I'm on the West Coast, so that means everybody's fucking updating it. Yeah. So, yeah, the time. I thought that was dumb. It should have been basically why everybody fucking over here in America was sleeping, update it then, like get that update out at 4 in the morning my time, dude. Maybe even earlier, like 4 in the morning on the East Coast time, which would be like midnight here and stuff. That would have been the play. Because, so sure, some people would have stayed up for the update, but a lot of people would have just been asleep, So I think one of the ways they could have lessened this, if there was a possibility of lessening it, which I think it would have, at the time. Like I said, one of the issues was probably because like there were so many people trying to get this update and play, and that it just fucked so much stuff up. It would have been better if it was not at that time. I think one of the issues there was definitely at the time of the release, did it way too late in the day. Granted, it was a Tuesday, but still, it's like there's still a lot of people in COVID houses and doing stuff. Might have been off work, and not to mention you got all the gamers and streamers who were, who had like either contracts, obligations, or just wanted to play that, well, I would say it's that it was their job, their job is to stream and stuff, so. Could you consider it a job? Because it is a basically a luxury to be able to get money to play games like that. I wish I could. But hopefully there's something else I can really, have a career in, something I'm doing on the side. But, yeah, I think the time was off. The other thing was, especially if you were going to do that time, there's, especially a free-to-play game like yours, Apex, and, this time and everything, what you should have done is, look at your most concurrent players combined, just of all the systems and everything, take, how many were at one time at Xbox, the top there, and the top at the PlayStation, and the top at Nintendo, and all that shit, Take all the highest concurrent, combine them, double that number, then double that number, and expect that many people to be one to update your shit. That's what they should have been expecting, Because it was the new update. I mean, they had streamers that they, they were sponsoring to play the game and stuff. It's just like, you really did not see this coming? Bullshit. Like I said, if it's a free-to-play game, take whatever your higher concurrent players are all together, combine them. Double that number, and then double it again, and expect that many people. Fucking hate summer sometimes. Now, outside of those issues that everybody knew about, let's talk about stuff of the good and the bad within the game itself. Okay. Let's go with the good. New characters, nice. Not probably going to be my thing, but it would probably, help to have her on your team. I mean, it would be nice and interesting, especially if you're in like certain locations where you're distance away from a drop balloon and you need to get out of a scenario. Good character help. Her ability is nice. Alt's okay. We'll see how she does overall later on. Nice skins in the battle pass for what they have of nice skins, with the guns and the characters. I like them. They're good. The new weapon is interesting. Gonna have to play around with it more, but it's definitely, a very unique weapon that a lot will try with, but most are gonna be just using it to fuck around with. Probably not actually try to use as a good weapon. It's like it's a good weapon, but it's just like you have to either be skillful or just going fucking around about, to have fun. It's gonna be one of those two people. You're gonna land in one of those two areas of players using that. Either you're fucking about or you're trying to be really good with it. What else? The skins for the gun are nice. Well, the bow. It's a combat bow, so it's. And the skins for the new character are okay. I mean, again, it's just like there's you have like 4 goats, and 2 of the goats are like similar to each other, just different color and maybe a bit of a different style, as usual. That's something they've been doing. I ain't gonna lie, I don't care what anybody thinks. Those are some fucking lazy skins that they do in this game, dude. They are. I mean, I've said it before. The epics for this game, skin-wise, are the laziest ones I have ever fucking seen. If you don't believe me, just seriously, look at them. Look at them. It's literally this kind of almost the same design, just changed with different color, and then copy and paste it to every gun, to every character. It literally is that shit. It 100% is. It's the laziest epics ever. There's some rares out there that are better looking than the epics. I mean, seriously. Those were lazy as fuck, dude. What else? Overall, the arenas is a nice additive. I like it. I mean, it's cool. Interesting they're adding it as a permanent. Because we're gonna go on a rant here in a second about the bad on why. But arena is a good game mode. It's nice. It's interesting. The maps are cool. It's just you got to work well with your team because I played arenas and it's just like you're sometimes teamed up with idiots, who are treating it like it's a death match, but it's not. It's a combination of deathmatch meets battle royale in aspects because it's like you see how the components of like what they have for the battle royale, with being down, having your shields, be it your main shields while you're up, or the shield you got while you're down, you can block some shots. You can get killed. It's more like what would it be? Search and destroy. It's more like search and destroy than it is team deathmatch because again you have the one life and stuff. You can be revived, sure, but you got to be careful with these. It's like the people are trying to. I've had teammates who were just like they get a couple shots on an enemy and they're just rushing him, man. It's like they're still with their 2 other teammates and he's down and he's a dead idiot. Had a couple of those scenarios. But overall, I mean, it's a fun mode. It's just like I said, you gotta find the right team because sometimes you have those idiots just like I'm Shroud, bang, 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 and I'm dead. It's like you're not Shroud. But it's good. It's okay. But like I said, this game was basically like 2 steps forwards, 2,000 steps back because one, they haven't updated the Golden Shield, which needed a buff like fucking 6 months after the release. That's pretty real. Because if you don't know, there's a video I have. You can actually check it out on my channel here. It's Apex Legends comparison. Being revived by your teammate compared to being revived by the Golden Shield, doing a self-revive. And it takes actually twice as long to revive yourself with the golden shield than it does the fucking teammate. Don't believe me? Again, check my fucking video. You can see. It is seriously ridiculously long. It's dumb. It should be either equal or quicker. Seriously, that is so dumb. And it's been like that, I said, since the beginning of the game. It needed to be buffed like 6 months after, when everybody realized how the fuck to deal with everything. It is the dumbest stuff. It's like, I'm not saying it's never come in handy. That's weird. It's probably come in handy a lot of times. But not as much as you would think it should for what kind of item it is. I mean, think about this. It takes twice as long. You are heard and seen easily reviving yourself. When you were reviving yourself, you're vulnerable. Your shield, you no longer use your shield. You have to be downed while doing that. It's a one-use item only. If you actually do get yourself back up and still have a shield and get knocked down, it turns into a purple. Seriously, it's the weakest gold item in existence in this game. And they've never once thought of buffing it because no one wants to say shit about it. I don't know why. It is broken as fuck. No one's like, yeah, the golden shield's okay. It's just they need to buff it because no one realizes that, apparently. Like the big streamers that fucking Apex would listen to and shit. The big players. Simon, nobody. They ain't gonna hear my shit talking about how realistically it is a broken fucking item. But nobody hears at the top because because the thing is, like with the golden shield nowadays, like I said, after 6 months, it's just like either you get up and your teammates are done with the enemy, they're dead. You get killed easily. It's just like it's either it was pointless getting yourself up and you waste the golden shield, which it doesn't really matter because it's the fucking golden shield. Like I said, it takes twice as long to revive yourself. It's so dumb. Not to mention they need to buff fucking Pathfinder. It's so stupid because you don't understand. He has a passive that was unique to him, where he could go up to one of those like Tige things that you see, the radar things, and find out where the next circle is. But the thing is, they give that ability to all of those type of characters. What they're called as scouts. The new Valkyrie character is one. Bloodhound is one. What is that dude's name? The dude with the drone. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. He's a scout too. So they all can tap into this thing and see where the next circle is. So his passive is no longer fucking unique to him. But everybody else that's a scout has their own passive plus this. So you see why I'm fucking kind of angry right here. No one's talking shit about this. It's like, how do you not fucking realize this? His passive is no longer unique to him. He needs a new one. Or fucking buff his fucking main ability, his grappling hook, where you can get it back and use it quicker or some shit, dude. I don't know. It's just, he needs a fucking buff, because the fact that his unique passive is no longer unique to him, it's just like, why does he have it then as a passive? Why doesn't he just have it as something else that the other characters have his own other unique passive? It's just, they fucked up, and no one gives a shit that they fucked up. No one's saying anything about this, because no one fucking cares, Fuck, balance be damned, Seriously. I like Pathfinder as a character, but it's just they kept fucking nerfing his ass. First, it was like triple his fucking time for his ability to come back. Give his passives to everybody else. It's just like, no one gives a fuck about talking about the real broken shit in this game. The other fucking broken shit in this game is, I don't know what it is, but I have Field Team on all the time. But 9 times out of 10 on duos, I don't get a teammate. There was a fucking game that I played on, what was it even? It was the day after the update, so I guess the 5th. The 5th when I actually played. Because the 6th I did nothing, and the 7th, which was yesterday, I played the new game, Hood, Outlaws, and Legends, which we're going to be talking about a little later here. And it's just like 9 times out of 10 get no teammates. But my apologies, the original part, I forgot. One of the games I had on it, the majority of the players were without a teammate. I shit you not, there was like 32 players and like, what would be half of that of a squad? Like 12. There was like 11 squads, 12, 11 squads. There was like 32 players. There's like 2 on here who are duos. I have no doubt those 2 were the ones at the fucking end. Seriously. It was dumb. It's just like, and a couple times when I play trios, it's like I get a teammate, but that's it. It's like it's solos and duos and trios. It's fucking broken in that area. But of course, they don't want to fucking fix it. And the easiest way to fix it, the easiest way to alleviate this issue, I don't care what a fuck says, is bring back solo modes and make it permanent. They did it for fucking duos. It was a time thing, but they brought it back because, it's like so many people loved it, even though they love solos as well. Go fuck themselves. It's like we hear you, community. We hear you. You want solos mode? We hear you. Here's arenas. Go fuck yourselves. That's literally Respawn right now. It's like, we hear you, community. We hear what you want, but we know what you want, so you can go fuck yourselves. I mean, seriously, for the longest fucking time, there was an issue where, I'm not sure when it started. I think it was like Season 1, when Season 1 finally dropped. If you bought their in-game currency that you could, purchase with reward money, through their app or Xbox, whatever. I'm not sure like how there was a difference. If you bought their coins, it would not fucking show up in your account. You would have to go through 2 parts, which was dumb because it was on EA's side. But you'd first have to go through Microsoft and say, "Hey, I purchased this, but I didn't get it," and they would say like, "We can't help you. It's not on our side. It's on EA's side," and it was always on fucking EA's side, but. Anytime I would like go to them first, it's like, well, you gotta talk to Microsoft first, see if it's on their end. It was never fucking on their end because this was the only game that this ever had an issue like this. Seriously, I've never had an issue of buying anything in game that never showed up outside of fucking Apex. But for the longest time, they had an issue to where, like I said, if you bought coins, it wouldn't show up in your account. You have to go through Microsoft. Then you have to go through EA. I guess EA finally got fucking tired of having their services be tied up so much because people were getting their fucking coins that they finally alleviated the issue because it's no longer been an issue after some point. Not sure when. But seriously, that was 100% EA's side. But like I said, there was never an issue other than Apex. Like, Apex has had so many issues. I'm just like, why do people keep, just giving them hand over hand of excuses, saying, don't hate on them, don't hate on them. It's like they fucked up so much, left and right, and it's just, I wish they would do better. Bring in fucking solos mode, fucking buff the gold shield, give Pathfinder a new fucking passive. Do actual balance work. The only times they don't have to do balance work is when it's shit, like this, just gets swept under the rug because no one's making a hubbub about it much, after some point. And no one gave a shit, like I said, about the passive with Pathfinder or the Golden Shield. They gave a fuck about solos for a while, but just like they're not bringing up enough hubbub about it, I guess. Or giving enough praise like they did duos. And it's just... I wish they would do better. The only time they ever have had to, clean up their messes is when, it's like extremely known, like the fucking update fuck up or the whole, like if a gun is too strong, like they're alleviated as soon as can and stuff. It's just like, I just wish, the things I see others saw, I guess that's the most aggravating to me. I just wish others saw the issues that I see that are actual issues, I mean, how much money have they lost because there are people not playing their game because there's no solo mode? Because, I mean, there was like months last year that I didn't play Apex because it's just like, it's okay game, but it's just, I wish there was a solo mode, There's a lot of times where I just drop off because, I'm tired of either getting fucked over and not having a team in duos or, having teammates that are just idiots. Like I said, it could all fucking be alleviated if they fucking had a perma solo mode. It works. We've seen it work. They had it in there. So don't tell me it doesn't fucking work. Because the only way it doesn't fucking work is if they somehow fucked it up themselves. Sorry, but I had the mic. Seriously. the only way solo modes doesn't work is if they somehow fucked it up. Alright, I'm gonna move on to the other game because otherwise I'm just gonna keep just feeling anger at him. I hate feeling hate sometimes, well, a lot of times. Let's move on to something a bit more better, at least. And that is this new game that I pre-ordered. It comes out tomorrow. Not tomorrow, actually. What is today? Today's Saturday. That's right. Today's Saturday. So it comes out in 2 days. But if you pre-ordered it before yesterday, you got early access to it. At least that's what somebody said in one of the games. Though I'm sure, because it's like on Epic's little storefront. It says pre-order now and play now. You know, or I guess purchase and play now. So I'm not sure if that's the way it works or not. But if you're wondering what Hood's Outlaws and Legends is, it is a 4v4 heist game, kind of in a medieval time. Because it seems like it goes off the whole Robin Hood kind of esque timeline and lore and stuff. Because one of the characters in there is called Robin. And he uses a bow and arrow. So, and he's got the whole cloak and hood and everything. So you got that, and you got another character called John. So you think Little John. It's like they definitely pulled from that lore and aspects wise. But like I said, it's a 4v4 heist game. There's 4 characters at the moment. They're probably gonna update it with some more, hopefully, as well as other stuff, including of course maps. There's 5 maps right now. Can't see all the hand. There's 4 characters, 5 maps. Why? I don't know. That's what they chose. What are the maps? They are Graveyard, Citadel, Marshland, and what's the 5th one? What is the 5th one? Hang on. I think I've at least played all 5 games here and stuff. Let's see. Yeah, there's Outpost. That's what it is. Outpost. So you got Graveyard, you got Outpost, you've got Citadel, Marshlands, and what was that 5th one? Sorry, my mind's gone. But I'm sure you rewind. And the way it works is there's a couple different enemies, but the main one is called the Sheriff. Yeah. And you gotta get a key from him. You gotta steal a key off of him. And you gotta, use it to open a vault, and in the vault is a chest. You gotta take the chest to an extraction point. On most maps, there's at least minimum of 2, if not more. And there are, in these extraction points, a little, just pulley system that you drop the chest on, and you gotta hoist it up into a ship, basically, or into outside the area. And while you're doing it, there's I'm not sure how many. I think it's 8 ticks. And with each tick, you get a percentage of gold. And at the end, if you get the last tick, which you put in the box on the ship, means you win. And I'm not sure if you get a good bit of gold with that one or not, as I've had it to where it's we've gotten the majority of the ticks, but they got the last 2 or 3. But within the game, like I said, there's the Sheriff, and the thing is, he is invincible. You can damage him enough to where he'll go down for a bit of time, but he's basically like Jason Voorhees. He walks around slow and he's menacing, and if he grabs you, you're dead. There's no getting around it. You're dead. So they made this character quite menacing and did it so well. Like I said, he's basically Jason Voorhees. He slow walks, and if he catches you, you're dead. That's it. Game over. Not really, because you do respawn. Sorry. And within the map itself, which they are quite sizable, not too big, but not too small. Just they made the map sizes just right for kind of how this gameplay works. Because right now we're all trying to figure it out, but a lot of people are just they're just going. They're moving fast. And I'll get to understanding why that is. But like I said, it's a 4v4 heist, and while you're, of course, moving the chest, there's only one person that's doing it. You're quite vulnerable, so you gotta watch out for that. So if you see an enemy, drop the chest, especially if there are no allies around you. Even if there's one with you, drop the chest. And Within the map itself, there are various spawn points. Of course, you got your main ones for each side, but there's at least 3 points that you can take. And if you, of course, you take them, you can spawn off them, but they're not perma taken. They can be taken from the enemy or by the enemy. And the way they work, they're okay, but they do have various locations when you play the map, so they're not always going to be in the same location sometimes. Which is interesting because one of the maps only has 2 extraction points, and they're basically both away from the spawn, like at equal good distance. But there was one map, I'm not sure if any other maps kind of have it like this. There was one with a spawn point that is quite close to the extraction point. So if you have it, you can basically screw over the opposing side. And it happened at one point where we were playing that kind of design and we lost that spawn point. And we could never get it back. And they just dominated us with getting the chest out and stuff. Because it's like, the spawn points, the main ones, are quite a distance from the extraction point. They're equals distance, but still, it's quite far. I mean, seriously, by the time you get there, they can at least get through one tick. And it takes time to get up there, dude. It takes 15 seconds, I would say, on average, to go from one tick to the next. If you don't complete it, it does go back down to that tick. So there's no in progress part there. It's like if you're in between, if you're just right there close to the next tick, but you have to get off because the enemy's there, it'll slam back down to the previous tick. So you gotta be careful of that stuff. If you can possibly, if you're right there at the end, it's a hard decision to make between keep pushing it, which when you're getting on the ship, you're literally rowing it, and they can get up to 2 people doing it at the same time. So 2 people making it, of course, faster. It's 15 seconds, I think, if one person doing it. Probably 10 if 2. I don't know. I'm not sure the whole math of it. I'm just guessing here. But yeah, it's okay. But of the characters themselves, they have their unique weapons, as I talked about Robin with his bow and arrow, as well as abilities. Now, the way Robin works, of course, like I said, he's got a bow and arrow. So he's a ranged character. But the way it starts off, though, I think he's kind of weak, because he only has 7 arrows. And they can go sometimes, if you're especially in battle with one of the guards. Because they can take up 2 to 3 shots. And these arrows don't just, you can't just easily retrieve them. You can if they're there, but they can break. So you got to be careful of that. And there are chests about that, you can restock ammo. There's those chests for your I would say it's sub ability. It's basically a throwable. With Robin, he has a flash bomb, but it works in a very weird way. There's a certain distance in which it works, and it's a small distance too. I don't think it's a big enough distance, if I'm to be honest. And you can blind yourself. I think there will be at some point, if you can unlock it, ability to keep it from happening, because there's another character, which we'll talk about here in a sec, that has the ability such as that to not be affected by his own bomb. But his ultimate, Robin's ultimate, he has a explosive arrow. It's called an Aether arrow. Aether. That word. Aether arrow. But where it works is basically it's a explosive arrow. You shoot it, and it can be stuck into enemies. So if you see people cranking it, that's when you want to use your ability. Shoot them, and you can at least get 1, possibly 2, because it's got a good range. And the other characters, you have Marianne, the lady who's an assassin. She has a kind of a wrist bow on her right hand, kind of like a crossbow, which she can shoot arrows. Her ability is smoke bomb, and her ultimate ability is escape, basically, is what it is. It's you turn invisible, and the ally, not the ally, but the enemy AI can't see you. The enemy can see you, because you're kind of almost like that predator invisible. So they kind of can see you. It's a bit more noticeable than that, I think. And what else? Okay, yeah, that's it for Marianne. I mean, she's good, and she has a better attack. Because with Robin, like you can actually attack without shooting your bow, because you use it as a basically a melee. So if you get in hand-to-hand combat, that's what you got. And with Marianne, she's basically got it's just an arrow in her little arm bow that she stabs with. Next one is John, like I talked about. He has a hammer. He's a brawler. The other two, like I said, the Marianne, she's an assassin, and Robin is an archer sniper kind of character. He's a stealth character. Him and Marianne. Those two are stealth characters. Whereas the other two, John, and the other one called Took, Tooke, Took. I mean, you might as well call because, I mean, without the E, it's Took. So it's Took. But they're brawlers. John has, like I said, a hammer. His ability, I believe, what was it? Oh, that's right. No, that's his ultimate. What's his ability? Because Marianne's, I can't remember if I did or did not tell you, her ability is a smoke bomb. I forgot to say that. It's a smoke bomb. And John's is, what is it? Because I know what Took's is. Took's a gas grenade. And he's the one I was talking about ability. It's like his gas grenade kind of affects him. It's basically, it takes away all your stamina. But with one of his abilities, he can alleviate that. But what was John's ability? I can't remember it. I'm guessing this must be a bomber of some sort, dude. I can't remember. Oh, maybe that's his ability, because there's like within the game itself, if you alert the guards, they will go into lockdown, and they have, of course, metal gates about, like any, because you're basically in castles and cathedrals and stuff. Like I said, that I guess I didn't, but yeah, you're in castles and cathedrals areas, so you got these big metal gates, and what he can do is he can actually lift the gates. He's the only character that can do that. So I'm assuming actually that's his ability. Though, I mean, the other abilities were utilities. So what would John's utility be? I cannot remember. I don't think he has one. I think he's just, I just never used it, but like I said, he can lift basically the metal gates. So, if you're in like you're respawning at point, because the 3 respawn points that you can take are A, B, and C. So say you're at C, and you just spawn there. But you want to get to the extraction point because the enemies are taking the gold. But, of course, the whole place is on lockdown because no one can ever get the gold out without being seen and the fucking place going on lockdown. Well, at least with him, instead of having to go, like, through a maze to get to the extraction point, he can actually lift up the gate and help you get there so much quicker. And I've heard of people actually dropping the gate on like enemies, where they die from it. I haven't seen it yet, but that would be funny to see. Or at least try, hopefully. And then there's, like I said, Took. Took is another brawler. He's got basically a mason chain, or mace on a chain, I guess you would say. And like I said, his utility ability is a gas grenade, which with the enemy AI, it basically stuns them, but with the yourself or the enemies themselves, your stamina gets drained to nothing. So good luck attacking, because to attack like with a brawler, you have to have stamina. That's just a given. His ultimate is he can self-heal as well as heal allies, as well as reveal enemies about, be it the AI or be it the enemy, the human enemy. And that's basically it in a nutshell, outside of the outpost itself, outpost camp, I would call it, in which you can upgrade as well as get cosmetics for your weapons and characters, as well as your perks. The way you upgrade is from the gold you get from the heist. Now, at the end of it is of the heist, you gotta wait for the first ring to go right. There's a not sure how you put it. It's Basically, it's one of those wares. You know, you got like, dang it, how do I? There you go. You got the wares. You know, you got like an apple in one and a egg in another. You know, so you see the difference in weight, and you can decide whether you want to keep the gold, so you can use it to get perks as well as the cosmetics, or you give the gold to the camp and upgrade the camp, which with itself helps unlock other stuff of cosmetic wise, I believe. I'm not sure what else it does, but I'm sure there's more. Like I said, that's basically it in a nutshell. Now, there are issues with it, at least technical, because I'm not sure what it is, but Xbox wise, again, I'm playing on Xbox One. In the camp, sometimes I could hear others where they could also hear me that were like in their own game or in their camp from like previous games I played, apparently, is what somebody said. But I'm not sure if that's true. I all I know is though I do hear other people, as well as if you're in a party chat on Xbox, you're still being heard in the game itself. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure how that's a bug, but hopefully it is something that can be fixed and alleviated. Because sometimes like nobody's talking and you're streaming and you want to say stuff, but you don't want to be noisy and keep them from hearing something that could have helped them. Like if an enemy was in a bush and they could have heard them scuffling about and not be assassinated. Because you can do assassinations not just on like AI, but also on the enemy. But the only person you can't assassinate is the sheriff. Like I said, he is God basically in this game, dude. He cannot die. You can hurt him enough to where he kneels down and he's there for a bit of time, but he will get back up. Like I said, he's fucking Jason Voorhees. He's fucking menacing. There's no assassinating him, but you can assassinate other AIs as well as the enemies. As long as you're behind them. But it's kind of clunky, if I'm to be honest. Even if you don't you see the enemy, it's like they can still, if they're just right behind you, they can still, because it's somewhat in first person, somewhat in third, because the assassination scores happen in third person view, but the most of the game's in first. But you can see somebody and they can just sneak up behind you and get that X prompt and boom, you're dead. I mean, that's how it happens sometimes with if there's two of one side and one of the other. You're facing against one and the other one gets behind you and just boom, you're assassinated. Even though you're doing work on the other, you're just dead. It's overall a good game, like I said, but there's needs to be that audio issue fixed, and I think there also needs to be a bit of balancing, because the brawlers are basically gods against the assassins a bit, somewhat. Like you can be a Robin and have it, unless you're getting good headshots here and there, in which some of these brawlers like it's hard to get a headshot because people are moving around so fucking fast, dude. And it's just like they need to alleviate it somehow. Either make the brawlers take less, or I guess more damage easily from the assassins, or like make the assassins like have some uniqueness for which they could do. I understand about that. The assassins are weaker than the brawlers, but it's like there should be some bit more balance to it, because you have these two characters are weaker to these other two characters. And I mean, in this game, it's like I said, a lot of people are just running around so fast, it's hard to be stealthy, There's not as many areas to be stealthy by, because if they get one look at you, they basically know where you are and you're fucked. You just are. But it happens a lot because it's just like the brawlers themselves can be sneaky in grasses and areas, as well as the assassins. So, it's just like you wonder, it's like there needs to be a bit more of a balance there. It's a good game, it's fun, but it just feels like there's not enough of a good balance. But it's understandable why that is. It's like they're trying something new, something different, that's something that you don't have really, seen before. Closest thing is probably For Honor or stuff like that, But I mean, this is such a unique kind of game. It's just like it's hard to find the right balance, but I hope they do. Because this is a fun game. I had more fun playing it than Apex, and with their recent update, dude. Because like I said, it's just like their shit is still broken, dude. It's just like duos is solos and trios is duos. I hope they fix it. I hope that they make it work well. But that's what we've gotten today of those three quick one on Funimation. Just a bit of a time on Apex, but a lot here. Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. But I just want to make sure you understood what the game was, of course, because you've heard of it, but you never, like, you don't understand it, and you want to know how. So in this video, so I got you. Next up is gonna be later on this month at the end. We got the 25th. We got Biomutant finally coming out. Can't wait to play that game. Get my thoughts on that when it happens. But I thank you for watching. I hope you're informed, possibly entertained, and I hope you have a rockin' suckin' day. Peace.